Welcome to the Firearm Patriot channel. Today I'm out on the range with the SCCY CPX2 9mm. It holds 10 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber for a total of 11 rounds. It's a very light double stacked gun. In fact, one of the lightest on the market with this kind of capacity. With an empty magazine in the gun, it weighs 17.1 ounces. Now, as you know from previous videos on this gun, I have had some trigger issues with it. It has been sent back to SCCY on 2 separate occasions with a limited number of ammo put through it. Now, it does appear that SCCY has the problem fixed with the CPX2 trigger. We're going to go ahead and shoot at some on the range today to make sure that that malfunction, that problem with the trigger is cleared up and that there's no issues. Go ahead, let's get shooting the SCCY and see what it'll do. We're going to be shooting the target at 21 feet, kind of show you how accurate I can shoot this pistol. It is a double action only firearm, and it does have a fairly stiff trigger on it and a very long trigger. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It is raining, so that's why the camera is so far back, and we've got to zoom up. It zoomed up close on the target, so we'll go ahead and start shooting now. So as you can see, even with the long double action trigger, the gun can be shot very accurately. It does, since it's a double action, has second strike capability. It does lend itself to practicing a lot, dry firing it, because every time you fire the gun, it's going to be the same trigger and you don't have to pull the slide back to reset that trigger. So I'll take those shots with the double action trigger like this all day long. We'll go ahead, put 10 or 5 more in there and see how we can do with the 5 extra ones. Overall, not a bad shooter. We'll take it out there, shoot black bart at about 25 yards, let you see how good it can be shot at 25 yards. So from getting the job done in far as close quarters goes, I don't think there's any issues, even though the trigger is a little difficult to manipulate. The gun is very accurate and it's very easy to shoot despite the long trigger. Let's go ahead and shoot the gun one-handed, both right hand, left hand. It is a handful. It is a 17.1 ounce gun, and the 9mm is quite a powerful round for that type of weight. So let's go ahead and show that it can be shot without any malfunctions in regards to left hand and right hand dominant. Now the left. Ten rounds shooting the gun one-handed without any kind of problems. So the close-up accuracy is pretty good with this gun. It can be shot quite well. So let's go ahead, let's go all the way out to Black Bart. He's about 25 yards out there, and see how many times out of 10 I can hit Black Bart with this SCCY CPX. We'll go ahead and zoom in on Black Bart. We'll be shooting beside the camera. Alright, so let's see how Black Bart holds up here. I'm not sure how many times that was, but for 25 yards with a trigger pull of 8 pounds and approximately 10 ounces, not bad. Okay guys, there you have it. We put about 193 rounds through the CPX2 after the trigger job. It appears to be working fine without any problem. Let me also say this about SCCY's customer service. Excellent customer service, some of the best customer service I have ever experienced. Each time I sent the gun in, they did have it back to me within a week, sometimes less than a week. Usually the turnaround time was a day or 2 days as far as them actually doing the work, which is pretty incredible if you think about it. That's pretty amazing. The second time I called in, obviously I was a little bit bothered since I'd already sent in once. So they put me directly through the gunsmith that actually worked on the gun, and I told him about the problem and so forth, how it was working, and how it wasn't working as far as what it was doing. And he was very nice, very courteous, said he'll fix it, take care of it. Talked a little bit about some of the problems that it could be. He basically ended up just changing out the entire trigger in the gun for me, and that seems to have taken care of the problem. Of course, I will say this, the best customer service is the customer service that you never have to use. Now, he was also, the second time around, they sent a postage prepaid label for me, so it didn't cost me anything. The first time I did have to pay shipping, but the second time they said, well, that's our fault, we're not going to make you pay to send the gun back to us. So I appreciated that. They also included 2 extra magazines, which is, you know, that's a pretty good value. And he also asked me too if what I thought about the slide release latch on it, and I told him, you know, it was a little big, it didn't bother me. So he said what he would do if I wanted is he would replace that with the new slide stop that they're going to be putting on the gun. So as you can see, it's a much lower profile, and that's what's going to be coming out on the future SCCY CPX2s as opposed to the larger slide release lever. So look for that. That's what's going to be coming out. So it makes it much more concealable. The downside of it is that you're not going to be able to chamber around with the slide release. You will have to pull the slide back to chamber the round. Not a problem for me. It's probably how it should be done. Although some manufacturers recommend that the first round be chambered with the slide release lever. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the gun very quickly. Again, we've already done a feature review on this gun. We'll put that link to that video. But this gun is height-wise, it's 4.48 inches. The length of it's 5.9 inches. The thickness is exactly 1 inch. It's a little, just a little over that now, particularly with the new slide release. It adds hardly any additional thickness to it. The old one put it out to 1.22 inches, excuse me. So it's a big difference. Excellent sights on this, and that's one of the great things that makes this gun so good. Again, it also has 3-dot sighting system on it. They are polymer posts at the front. The back appears to be metal. It is a replaceable back sight. Now, the gun is, again, double action only, very long trigger pull, all the way back out to reset. We're looking at 8 pounds 10 ounces on that trigger pull, so it's about the same as the Bodyguard 380. It does have double strike capability. Again, capacity is 10 rounds in the magazine. They come with a flush magazine as well, as far as magazine base, as well as an extended magazine, just a little bit extra for the pinky. I'll tell you how that, so I'll show you how that looks right there. Okay. Trigger's very wide. There's not a lot of space. If you had big gloves, it might be a little bit difficult getting in there. It does not have an accessory rail. There is kind of a cushioned, it's really hard plastic, but there's little air vents in here between the back and the actual main part of the frame. SCCY says that helps reduce recoil. Not so sure about that. It is a pretty hard recoiling gun at 17.1 ounces, but it did not bother me one way or the other. Nice magazine release. We never had the magazine drop accidentally. It was easy to change the magazines. Excuse me, the slide always locked back on the last round. Easy to manipulate the gun. Like the curved deep serrations on the slide, makes it really easy to work. Again, no problem changing those magazines out. They come out very easily, no problems whatsoever. So overall, for basically, this gun was $236.99 plus the tax. I think it brought over a little bit of $250. It does represent a great value in a double stack 9mm pistol in this weight category. Very similar to the Kel-Tec P11. In fact, if you hold them side by side, it's difficult to tell them apart. Maybe we'll do a comparison of those two guns together. Just know that if you do purchase this gun, that if you have a problem with it, and you could potentially do that, I did, but again, we've got 2 recalls out right now, XDS, Shield, so manufacturers do have problems from time to time. This is a relatively new company, so it's one that's worth taking a look at, I think. There you have it. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. With that being said, this is Firearm Patriot. Till next time, God bless America.